All right. Hi, everyone. This is Alanna,
Yeah, this is Yuanjing.
and we're going to talk about relations and interactions this week. Um, so I guess we'll start with the Ellison article right, about
Yeah.
Facebook. Um, I mean, this article really resonated with me because I started undergrad in 2006. And this was almost my exact experience. I was able to maintain connections from high school, and I also, built some bridging social capital by connecting with people I had just met in college. And I could talk to them about assignments, exams, etc. So this really captured my experience really well. How did you feel about the article?
For the Facebook, actually, because I'm from China, there is, we cannot use Facebook in China. Yeah, so I was an exchange student to George Mason University 3 years ago. So it's my first time to use the Facebook. I download the Facebook just for my actually American friends to communicate with them. So actually, I don't have a lot of Chinese friends in Facebook. Just want to maintain a relationship with my American friend.
Right, like people you met in school and stuff like that. Yeah, same here. Do you feel like you've met anyone on Facebook? Like, just randomly connected with people?
Actually, no.
Yeah.
Maybe we're in the same class. I will add them with the friend in Facebook. So I actually don't randomly just add or meet people in Facebook.
Me neither. I think it's kind of like creepy when you get a request from somebody you don't know. You're like, that's not my friend. So yeah, no, it was interesting to read that article and kind of, I don't know, think about how that applied to my own experience. But I think Facebook has changed a lot since it's changed, like since 2006. When did you first start using Facebook?
2014.
Oh, okay. So you came in later.
Yeah. So I don't know what's changed. Could you tell me more about the changes?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was mostly we were using it on our laptops because back then mobile phones didn't have like the Facebook app and all of that. And in the article they mentioned, the people they interviewed or who were participants in the research only went on like for 20 minutes a day. And I feel like everyone's going on whenever they have like a free chance now, it's easier to go on now because you have it on your mobile phone. So I was interested in kind of, reconducting the research to see how, the different types of social capital would be affected because the way we use Facebook is a little bit different now, And yeah, it's just like an interesting question. I don't know how it would be affected. But you see a lot of people on Facebook now, like on their phone, and you wonder, maybe they're maintaining social capital, or they're getting bridging social capital from, weak ties or whatever. But, maybe they're missing out on the bonding social capital because they're not paying attention to, like, family or friends around them. Do you feel like that happens? Or what do you think is, like, the...
Yeah, actually, could you tell me more about what does social capital mean?
Sure. No, I guess, in the article he discusses, or I'm not sure how many authors are participating in this, but let me just grab it here. So, yeah, it's 3 authors. They kind of define it in different ways. They have maintaining, which is kind of a new form of social capital that they view on Facebook, which means you know these people already. They're not really like close friends or family, but you are able to maintain a relationship with them because you're able to connect with them on Facebook. So these may not be people you would, talk to regularly, but you're still connected to them somehow because you're on Facebook or...
Yeah, because you posted something.
Yeah.
Post of your life so they can know you better.
Right.
there is some, yeah. Oh, okay. So, do you still use Facebook now? I heard a lot about my American friend. They actually don't like to use Facebook now.
It's different with like all the parents on it and like family members. Like when I first started using it, it was definitely more of like a college kids environment. Like we were all posting like maybe things that shouldn't have been posted, like going out to parties and stuff like that. It's definitely a much different climate now. And, I really wonder what type of social capital has increased. Is it bonding, bridging, or maintaining? And I'd be interested in hearing what the rest of the class has to say, too. But, yeah, that's interesting that you mention it. It's not really the cool social media anymore that it was, like, 10 years ago, I guess.
It's just because your parents or relatives as your friend in Facebook, or some other.
I think that's a bit of it. Are you like connected to friends and family members or anything like that?
We actually have a WeChat in China. It's also a social network like Facebook or WeChat. We have a lot of relatives, uncle, aunties, or your parents. So we don't like to post about maybe go to the party,
right?
Go to clubs.
Yeah.
We like to post that on the WeChat. But there is another one called Weibo. Our parents doesn't know about Weibo, so we will post this thing, on the Weibo. I think Weibo is kind of like the Instagram.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my American friends, they maybe actually like to post their social life on Instagram more.
Yeah.
So do you also? So which one is your preferred to post your?
Honestly, I only started using Instagram like a few months ago after starting this class. Yeah. But it's interesting, like, because you do have that separation of, friends and family. So, I think that changes the way you use Facebook or, WeChat and stuff like that. It really depends on who's part of the community. So I think that's important to note. I'm trying to think what else I found interesting about that article. I think that was all I wanted to touch upon. Was there anything else you wanted to say about that one?
I mean, in this article, it's discussed a lot about the positive side about the Facebook. Do you think there is also the negative side about the Facebook? Because we use WeChat a lot, it's kind of like Facebook. Sometimes WeChat, actually social media will make us feel lonely. Do you agree with this argument or no?
Definitely. And I thought it was interesting that they didn't, address like the negative side too much. I guess the results of this research were overwhelmingly positive. But yeah, absolutely. I still think there's a lot of, this is just based on experience, but a lot of my friends get this concept of fear of missing out or FOMO. They see people posting these pictures of other people having a good time or, going on vacation or getting a new, bag or something, and they feel like their lives in comparison are not as wonderful. Do you feel like you see that happening with your friends or not so much?
Actually, yes. Especially the past spring break, there are a lot of people on vacation, and some of to study abroad is expensive, Mm-hmm. So some family cannot afford they can afford their children study here, but they cannot afford them to travel a lot. So some of my friends didn't go to vacation on this spring break. So when they saw some people posted a lot of happy moments, so that's really bad, upset, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we should just. It's kind of like selfish. You think you should just be like happy for these people, but you're also kind of comparing it to your own life, and sometimes it's tough. So yeah, that's definitely. And I think the negative side is not really explored here, and I wonder how that would change if we did this study today. I think it might. Let's see here. All right, so I guess the next article we have is the McKenna article about relationship formation. And this one was interesting because this was from 2002, which is like an ancient text, So, and the research was conducted in the late 90s, so it's really like, but it was really eye-opening to me, like the level of connection people could get on the internet. I knew that obviously you could get some, but I thought it was really interesting that these people were benefiting so much from purely talking on the internet via text. And I kind of got it in a way. And as a shy person, it confirmed a hunch I've always had. There's a certain freedom online that's hard to capture when you're tied to a human body. When all that is seen are your thoughts, you kind of feel like your true self. You're seen for your mind and not for anything else. And in a way, it seems really pure to me. It's like you're just being seen for who you are, and you're not being seen for how you appear, your looks or how your voice sounds. And I think there's something really like pure about that. I don't know. It was such a cool idea, interesting idea, especially since we've been talking about how video and images really add to the conversation online. It was interesting to see this kind of opposing viewpoint. I guess what it was saying, one of the main arguments is, or one of the main objectives was to figure out if people were forming quality relationships online, rather than, and they can, I think the most fascinating part to me was the end when they conducted that study at NYU and they found that people really did kind of like each other more when they met first online and then, interacted afterwards. Or I found that so interesting that, because we're vulnerable online, it helps to build a relationship. And I thought that was so interesting to me, because we're always trying to make our online interactions like closer to what we have in person. But are we losing something in the process? I just kind of wonder. So that I was fascinated by it. I mean, I know it's an older study, but I thought it was very, very interesting and thought-provoking. I mean, I kind of struggle, like, how do you take this into a classroom environment? I mean, what do you think do you think there's, like, something we could do with students based on this study? Or do you think that has any use in the classroom? This sort of meeting people online and not knowing who they are, and
for me, actually, I don't think so. I prefer to meeting with people in person, actually, face to face. Actually, I mean, it's interesting that because I'm an international student. Before I went to the teachers' college. I saw a lot of my friends. They actually didn't meet each other before. Just they just communicate with each other online. But when we come here, they become the true friends. But I don't think it's can use on the school.
Yeah.
Students. Yeah, it's hard. No, I don't know. What do you think about?
Especially like younger students. I mean, the first thing I thought was like, okay, like, can you use this with young students? Like, encourage them to meet people online? Like, I feel like parents would say that's a big no-no. So I guess that's what I want to ask the class. Could anyone see how this could have an application in, a classroom environment. I don't know. Maybe it could.
I think if they have chance to meet each other later,
Right. That's
maybe,
true. That's a
yeah,
good point. It could work.
Yeah.
All right. Is that you think all we have to say about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's do the final one, the Wu Reeves article. Okay. So this, oh gosh. Okay. So the final article we're looking at is the Wu Reeves article about social constructivism and learning through meaning making.
For the last article, do you think our course, social media, this course is actually a web-based learning course?
A constructivist, like, are we using like social constructivist kind of practices, you think?
Yeah. In this course?
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, some of the things we've done have definitely been in the realm of like authentic tasks. So I think, yeah, I do think so. And I think it's so interesting, social constructivism. I mean, in a conventional learning environment, you often have like a right and wrong answer. But I like the idea of learning through meaning making. Like there's a lot of ways for a question to be answered, and mutual understanding is so important. And I think authentic learning tasks can help us develop skills that we really need, like, as mentioned, negotiating and mediating. Those are so essential for real life. And I definitely think we've been able to do some of that in this class, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so as well. Do you think so? I think we've done some of this stuff. I definitely think there's some things we've been able to do, like we've tried to do some authentic tasks, and that's kind of what we want to incorporate into our task of the week too. We want to try to use a social constructivism type activity. So yeah, I think it's definitely related to the class. Yeah, do you think this is an appropriate theory to use, social constructivism? Did you feel like, I know we mentioned we were talking about Scratch earlier. Did you? So what exactly is Scratch? What?
Scratch actually is to help the young kids to learn coding, in an interesting way. So actually, I think it's a web-based learning environment to help children to get together to do the coding. So this one is more like the meaningful interaction.
Right.
Yeah. So I encourage somebody who didn't use Scratch before can try to use the Scratch. It's actually just like a game. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. See, that makes it fun too. Like that motivates you to do it. If it's simply fun, like it's a game. So, have you used Scratch? You've used it before?
It's a semester. Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Introduced me to, cause I'm very afraid to learn Java.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So she told me you can try the Scratch first.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well. And it's like a supportive community. You feel like there are people on all levels. Do you think it's like your peers, or is it, a mixture of peers, experts, and novices? Like, is Yeah, it's both.
Expert, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, then I think that's a good example of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I think. Is that all we have to say about that? I thought that was good. I like the Scratch example a lot. All right, so for the activity of the week, we are trying to create our own authentic task, and we are going to ask you to collaboratively develop ideas about how social media can be used in the classroom, and do it in such a way that we could potentially present this to a board of a school. So, we're going to pretend that we're actually doing it. So let's see what the kind of ideas this authentic test generates. So the idea is to use Facebook to do a bit of research, which Facebook does not naturally seem like the social media platform to use for research, but let's see what we find. So get creative. Feel free to post on boards, join groups, messenger people, whatever you need to do to try to collect information about how social media can be used in the classroom for our report, which we will be presenting to the board. And as you are doing this, make a note and observe, what kind of social capital is being used, or do you see are you using bonding, bridging, or maintaining social capital? Is the conversation meaningful as defined by Wu and Reeves? Do you think your level of vulnerability, do you think the fact that you're using images, or, I don't know if you use video or just plain text, is affecting the way you're connecting with others and getting information? So overall, what did you learn? And then on Thursday, we are going to send you a summary task to do, and we'll keep you posted about that. And good luck.